So, The Snowman, a Joe Nesbo thriller directed by Thomas Alfred.
Joe Nesbo.
I beg your pardon, and already I've put my foot in it.
That's only because Fassbender said that last.
Is it Joe Nesbo? No, but didn't he say that in Britain they say Joe Nesbo? Because you asked him
He
about,
tends to.
is his name Harry Hole or Harry Hula? And he said it depends whether I'm saying it here or whether I'm saying it there.
Yeah. Well, Joe Nesbo and Harry Hula. That's the
Joe Nesbo.
Yeah.
Directed by Thomas Alfredson. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Who made Let the Right One In and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and who I'm a huge fan. Michael Fassbender. Again, fine, yes. It's an alcoholic detective on the trail of a serial killer whose trademark is snowmen.
Building snowmen.
Building snowmen.
Scary-looking snowmen.
No, snowmen.
Snowmen, I think they're scary, with
Really?
twiggy arms.
Mm-hmm. That's called a snowman.
Okay.
So anyway, that's his modus operandi. Is he leaves behind snowmen, sometimes in advance of the crime. He's partnered with Rebecca Ferguson, who has her own reasons for wanting to track down this particular case.
She wants to filmatise it all.
She wants to filmatise everything. Here's a clip.
Layla Orson and Arva Stoke were having an affair, and that's the last thing my father was investigating before he got killed.
You broke into Vetlison's house because you were afraid I'd find out this was personal and take you off the case.
Vetlison was his pimp, and they were both in Bergen when the murders started.
I know how much you want this, but you can't force the pieces to fit.
Do you actually think he killed them?
I don't know. I don't think either of us do for sure.
Maybe this will bring your balls back.
Now, I have to say, I went into this thinking, with a pedigree this good, I'm going to enjoy this because I'm a huge fan of Michael Fassbender. I think Thomas Alfredson is a terrific director, and I've admired.
He knows how to chill you.
So much of the bus he does, and actually, watching the trailer, even with the sort of slight ludicrousness of the central sort of snowman conceit, I thought, okay, I'm really up for this. And I have to say that with that much talent in there, the film is a great disappointment. And the disappointment is manifold. Firstly, the film seems fantastically muddled and unfocused. That doesn't mean I couldn't follow the plot. It means that the film itself didn't seem to know where it was going or why it was going there. This, despite, the editing brilliance of Thelma Schoonmaker, who is, one of the, if not the greatest editor in the entire film business. It was what the film never managed to do was to grip me enough with a central idea and make me do that thing which you need with a thriller, which is to be invested in this unfolding mystery and to wonder why something is happening and what is happening and how it is happening. Never happened. The film felt to me like it was skidding around on ice all the time. It would go one way, it would go the other way, it would follow this strand, it would follow that strand, but not in a way that was like, oh, we're throwing you all these curveballs because they're going to befuddle you, but in a way that just felt like, honestly, bad storytelling. Fassbender looks like he's cruising. I mean, yes, he looks convincingly rattled and convincingly dejected, but compare this with the performance that he gave in something like Shame, in which you really felt the kind of inner torment of that character. You really felt that there was something poisonous and rotting inside, which I don't think we ever felt here. J.K. Simmons does his very best to raise the temperature above chilly, but doesn't ever manage to do it. Charlotte Gainsbourg, Chloe Sevigny, largely wasted in roles that look like they're going to be fascinating and interesting and end up somehow being peripheral. And it felt to me like a film that, whilst it was being made, kind of got away from the filmmakers. And I speculate about this because when we got into the final act, I thought that there was a sequence in which Michael Fassbender's hair was very different to how it was in the rest of the film. And it looked to me like the pieces of the jigsaw hadn't all added up and, things had been shot at different times. Now, I don't know this because I'm just, it was just how it seemed to me. It looked to me in the end like somebody was scrabbling together to try to get the pieces to make sense. And I also had the sense that this kind of thing has been, even with the very little that I know about television, we've seen this kind of thing done before and done better in TV miniseries. It never had, although there is nastiness in it, it never had the the meanness that you actually need to make the story feel like it is, something existential. There's a kind of murderous gimmick that I never bought into. There are many sequences that left me going, sorry, wait, what?
Was one of those? Did it involve popcorn by hot butter?
Well, you and I sort of spoke about this very briefly about what is the significance of popcorn by hot butter. Well, other than the fact that it's one of those songs that makes you want to tear your ears off.
Yeah, but I think if you see this film, you'll get to this bit and go, okay, and then at the end of it, you'll kind of forgotten because you've moved past it, and then afterwards you go, but that made absolutely no sense at all. I
mean, I think it's a real shame because I think that it does, every now and then you see a film which is befuddling and it's generally something that got away from the director. And I really feel like that was the case with this. I feel that during the making of the film, somehow the film got away and they lost focus, they lost clarity. And it looks like a film that's been edited and edited and edited.
I've heard that there were two editors.
Well, there are two editors credited. Yeah, Thelma Schoonmaker, came in after. That's definitely the case, but that's not wholly unremarkable. That has happened in the past. But it's a film that certainly in its finished sense lost me, and it lost my interest, and that I thought was a particular disappointment, since I like the I like the idea of the film. I like the people who are on screen, and I'm a very big fan of the director. And maybe it's fair to say that I go in with higher expectations when we get to somebody like Alfredson. There were moments in it when I just actually thought that the Snowman gimmick was silly.
I mean, what's bizarre is that it was such a big, Joe Nesbo knows what he's doing. He's sold
evidently,
and they've gone quite a long way from his actual story, which is odd. And I want to ask you two questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Both of them involving cameos.
Okay.
First of all, the first point is Toby Jones.
Yes.
So there's a plus point in seeing this film. It's a Toby Jones film.
It's a Toby Jones film.
Could have had more of Toby Jones.
You could always have more of Toby Jones because it was a Toby Jones film, but there was more Noby Jones than Toby Jones.
That's right. And the other thing is,
and of course, Toby Jones has worked, of course, with Alfredson before.
So that's maybe how he got the nod.
Yes, I would think so.
The other one is Val Kilmer.
Mm. Yeah. There's a weird thing.
I still can't work out where he was.
There's a weird thing with Val Kilmer.
Was he?
Okay, there's a weird thing with Val Kilmer, which was Simon, who works on the show, not you, Simon.
Oh, right, producer Simon, yeah.
Who said, and it's quite rightly so, it was almost like, with watching Val Kilmer, it was almost like watching one of those CG characters who's been put in afterwards. It's like an uncanny valley, because Val Kilmer's performance is so peculiar and so...
I must have missed him altogether.
Oh, you mean you really don't know where he was?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Where was he?
You know the guy who goes behind the window?
Yeah.
That's Val Kilmer.
Oh, right. I need to go and see. No, I'm not going to go and see it again.
No, actually, I think it was Princess Leia. But it was, anyway, yeah. So it was, but it was a film which lost my attention, and that I think is a real shame, because when you're talking about a thriller, a murder mystery, something dealing with, dark subject matter, something dealing with, freezing environment and all the rest of it, with this kind of talent, what you want is something which plays like an icicle to the heart, and this just felt like a melty popsicle.